Good Tuesday morning, everyone, and thanks for joining us from the Ohio AgNet, the voice you know with the news you trust studio, sponsored by the Grand Equipment Company, where innovation meets execution. I'm Joe Everett. Well, currently a chilly 18 degrees outside here at the farm this morning, and I will say as we've recently flipped the calendar to December, here on our farm, we've started moving some of our December contracts, and I will say this, not only the month has flipped, so has the temperature, which has made it not quite as enjoyable to get the trucks rolling in the mornings. Looking at the calendar, powered by soy biodiesel, we will be visiting this year's Winning County Fair and the Farm Credit Mid-America Feed the Hungry, Stock the Trailer contest. Now looking at some of your agricultural news headlines. Economists are forecasting a drop in land prices. Lower returns to rented land and higher interest rates begin signaling the potential for falling farmland prices in 2023. FarmDoc from the University of Illinois says those signals are continuing, with the current fundamentals suggesting land value reductions of approximately 3% in the next year, 2025. A 3% drop would be in line with observed adjustments since the 1980s, as well as expectations from professional farm managers who were surveyed this year. Well, a major trade mission to Morocco is underway. Daniel Whitney, the administrator of the USDA's Foreign Agricultural Services, arrived in Casablanca to begin a USDA-sponsored trade mission. He's leading a delegation of almost 50 U.S. agribusinesses and a trade group and 14 state ag departments to expand U.S. farm and food exports to Morocco and other West African markets. Morocco is the second largest export market for the United States agriculture in Africa. U.S. sales of farm and food products to the country topped $619 million last year, representing 16% of all American exports to the continent. American agricultural exports to Morocco have doubled since the U.S.-Morocco Free Trade Agreement entered into the force in 2006. The country offers a stable market and growing economy, and it serves as a key distribution hub for the African continent and is a major importer of bulk commodities. Now let's join Dale for an industry update from the National Farm Broadcasters Convention.
Joining me is Andy Folto. We are at Bayer Crop Science. And Andy, I've been asked to talk to everybody that I talk to out here somewhere in our company about the role AI will play for farmers as they make future decisions. Have you guys talked about this as a company? How are we going to boil this down so producers don't feel overwhelmed?
I would say we have, and I think all of us in the industry owe it to farmers because AI is going to influence a lot of decision making, not just in agriculture, but in our lives in general. I know I utilize it when I'm, deciding where should I go out to, go to dinner, or when I went out to dinner last night. So it's going to be a piece of everyone's life moving forward. And, in Bayer Crop Science, we're really focused on delivering insights to farmers. And when we talk about insights, we talk about agronomic insights because we're an agronomic company. Helping farmers take this data that they've been collecting for 5, 10, 15 years in some cases, and then put it to use to be able to make a decision. And when I think about AI, we're working on tools that can help, the conversation between our customer-facing squads and the farmers so that our customer-facing squads are more informed with what's coming out of Bayer R&D and our pipeline. But also I look at all of this data that farmers have brought in, and I work for FieldView within Bayer. We're a digital ag platform that helps people bring data from whatever piece of equipment you're collecting data on. We can bring it into FieldView so you have all of that in one unified place. But going through 10, 15 years of data is a challenge for farmers. And that's why we see a lot of our farmers share data to someone, a retailer, an agronomist, because they want help going through that. And where I see AI playing a really pivotal piece of that conversation is just making it easier for a farmer to get access to the data they need much faster.
Andy Folto, my guest from Bayer Crop Science.
Thanks, Dale. And to hear this full interview, check out the featured audio at ohioagnet.com. Well, Congress returns this week facing a December 20th deadline to approve a new funding resolution to keep the government operating, as well as potentially pass a disaster package and a farm bill extension before wrapping up for the year. Lawmakers will be negotiating the funding and provisions of a disaster aid package after the White House earlier proposed nearly $100 billion in disaster relief. Some lawmakers want to include specific provisions to help commodity farmers who may not have been hit by a natural disaster but have experienced price collapses this year. As far as fully funding the federal government, Congress is mainly looking at another short-term extension, known as a continuing resolution that would avoid a shutdown. But the extension would shift most of the major funding decisions for fiscal year 2025 to the new Congress and to President-elect Donald Trump early next year. Stay tuned. We'll be back to take a look at today's weather after this.
Since 1926, Nationwide has been rooted in agriculture. Founded as the Farm Bureau Mutual Automobile Insurance Company with a mission to protect farmers and their communities, we honor our legacy by offering solutions that evolve with the complex needs of today's farms. As the leading insurer of America's farms and trusted by 8 farm bureaus for 100 years and counting, Nationwide is on your side. Number 1 insurer based on 2023 direct written premium per AM Best. Nationwide Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates, Columbus, Ohio.
Diane from Michigan, a disabled senior citizen trying to get by. Henry from Florida, a veteran fighting to make ends meet. Elena from Arizona, a mother struggling to feed her daughter. Hi, I'm Connie Britton, and I support Feeding America because they help provide over 6 billion meals to people in need each year, like Diane, Henry, and Elena. Learn more at feedingamerica.org. Feeding America, 200 food banks strong.
Now let's take a look at today's weather, brought to us by Seat Consultants. Simply better performance online at seatconsultants.com. Here's the forecast.
Another chilly day over Ohio today, but not as cold as what we've come through recently. I'm Chief Meteorologist Ryan Martin. Let's take a look at your forecast update. We see a mix of clouds and sun today, a little bit of lake effect influence near the Lake Erie shoreline, but generally speaking, it's not too shabby today. Tomorrow doesn't look bad either. Sunshine to start, but clouds will be on the increase. And then as we move into the Wednesday night, Thursday time frame, that's where we see a clipper system trying to come through. It's going to give us some on again, off again, a light snow. Not much. Fresh coating, that's about it. The focal point on snow seems to be a little bit farther north over Michigan and into southwestern Ontario. But in any case, we see the clouds break up behind it, but lake effect can come back for Thursday night and into early Friday. Then high pressure eases off to the east through the weekend. Temperatures moderate Saturday afternoon and especially Sunday. In Sunday's temperature moderation, we set ourselves up for rain. Clouds build and we see rain overnight Sunday night into Monday. Yep, I said rain. Anywhere from 1/10 to 3/4 of an inch, coverage 100% of Ohio. We follow that up with temperatures that stay near normal for Monday night and Tuesday. Mixed clouds and sunshine Tuesday. Wednesday sees clouds increase and another round of rain and even thunderstorms coming through Wednesday afternoon through Thursday afternoon. 1/4 to 1 inch of precipitation there. Dry behind it, but not excessively cold yet. We see another system getting ready to move through like for the 15th and 16th. That system sets us up for significantly colder air that week of the 16th. I'm meteorologist Ryan Martin.
Hey, thanks, Ryan. Well, the Ohio Department of Agriculture and the Ohio Christmas Tree Association continued their tradition of spreading holiday cheer to U.S. troops overseas through Operation Evergreen. This year, 100 Ohio-grown Christmas trees and handmade decorations were shipped to military personnel in Jordan. The initiative now is on its 29th year, expresses gratitude to service members who can't celebrate the holidays at home. Ohio tree growers donate trees, which are inspected, wrapped, and packaged at ODA's Reynoldsburg campus with the help of volunteers and students. Decorations are crafted by local schools, churches, and veterans groups. The shipment approved by ODA's plant health inspectors ensure troops receive a festive reminder of home. Operation Evergreen has delivered trees overseas annually since 1995. To learn more, you can find this full article at ohioagnet.com. Well, the USDA projects another record ag trade deficit this fiscal year as imports surge and exports lag. USDA expects ag imports to exceed exports for the third fiscal year in a row. Here's Chief Economist Seth Meyer.
From 23 to 24, we saw more than a $10 billion year-over-year increase. This year, we're looking at something in the range of $8 billion year-over-year increase,
making for more than $215 billion in ag imports. That as ag exports continues to fall from final fiscal year 2024 numbers.
Exports for fiscal year 2024 are forecast at $174.4 billion, falling $4.4 billion to $170 billion for fiscal year 25.
That would lead to a projected $45.5 billion ag trade deficit this fiscal year, up nearly $14 billion from the fiscal year 2024 previous record deficit of $31.8 billion. Meyer blames falling export values since 2022.
Part of that is because commodity prices were peaking out in 22, right? So again, here, exports falling in this situation isn't necessarily a surprise, perhaps, as commodity prices continue to moderate.
That's happening as imports of fruits and vegetables continue to grow, and market-sensitive coffee imports have also risen. The latest ag trade forecast comes as President-elect Trump threatens to stiff tariffs on China and other competitors that farm leaders fear could lead to new threats against U.S. farm exports. Well, Cooper Farms is going above and beyond to set new benchmarks in food safety. In an industry where meeting government regulations is the norm, the company's cutting-edge programs and proactive measures ensures its practices exceed industry standards while providing unmatched confidence to consumers. According to Cooper Farms Chief Executive Officer Jim Cooper, food safety is more than just a protocol, it's a culture. For over a decade, Cooper Farms has utilized high-pressure pasteurization, an advanced technique enhancing natural shelf life and safety for its sliced deli meats. Bulk deli products are also treated with hot water pasteurization, a rigorous process combining high heat treatment with rapid cooling. These measures, though optional and not widely used in the industry, are deemed essential by Cooper Farms to deliver unmatched quality. The company's commitment starts before processing, however, by ensuring animals have a clean and healthy environment. During grow-out, the company takes a proactive stance against pathogens, ensuring safety from farm to fork. Stay tuned. We'll be back with the grain analysis and your overnight markets after this.
Get the equipment and trucks you need at Ritchie Brothers' next Great Lakes Regional event on December 11th and 12th. This absolute unreserved auction will feature online bidding, and items are located in Columbus, Chicago, and Detroit. Choose from close to 5,000 items, including a wide selection of construction equipment, truck tractors, and more. Don't miss Ritchie Brothers' Great Lakes Regional event on December 11th and 12th. For more details, visit rbauction.com. Again, that's rbauction.com.
It's now time for the Louis Dreyfus Grain Analysis, and that is brought to you by the Ohio Soybean Council and your soybean checkoff. Here's Ryan Martin.
Grain market starting off the week in an unimpressive manner overall. We had corn finishing the day fractionally mixed. The soybeans down about 4 to 6 cents. Soybean meal was weaker, as was oil. Wheat markets were up on the nearby December contracts as we move into the delivery window. On every contract except spring, it was down. But the rest of the wheat contracts were down a couple of pennies here and there. So nothing really to get too super excited about in the marketplace at all in our first full day of trade since the holiday. We did have a higher volume of trades in the marketplace as traders got back and got to work. December's Argentina forecasts were definitely wetter and therefore better. Argentina's forecasts are key for both corn and soybean production. We also had the crude oil market surrendering their overnight gains. Macro markets were a little bit negative through the day. The Brazilian real set to score a new all-time low settlement, and the U.S. dollar is trading mostly higher by just a little bit. Let's go to that first story first. South American weather. It's better right now with Argentina picking up better rain and actually seeing some of that better rain move up into Brazil. There is also concern over the performance of China's economy, and that is going to be driving a price discovery nearby in both corn and beans. Nearby corn in China yesterday fell to test harvest lows. Nearby Chinese meal is testing contract lows. China's hog market continues to do very little. Almost sounds like kind of the U.S. market here right now. Inspections out yesterday. Export inspections. U.S. inspected for export 436 million bushels of corn, 31% higher year on year. Soybeans were up 16% year on year. Wheat up about 32% year on year after a decent export inspections report yesterday morning. Also had a flash sale of 134,000 tons of soybeans to China mentioned yesterday. That's your market recap. I'm Ryan Martin.
Hey, thanks, Ryan. Now let's take a look at your overnight markets brought to us by Seed Consultants. Simply better performance online at seedconsultants.com. Well, things are mixed in Chicago. Let's start off with December corn, $4.25.5, up a penny. March corn, $4.33 up 3/4. January soybeans, $9.84 3/4, down a half. March soybeans, $9.90.5, down a half. December wheat, $5.39, up 1.5. Looking at livestock from yesterday's close, December live cattle $187.52, down 45 cents. February live cattle $187.92, down 70 cents. December lean hogs $83.22, up $1.15. February lean hogs $87.95, up $1.62. March feeder cattle $255.55, down $3.07, and April feeder cattle $256.97, down $2.65. Thanks for joining us. This is the Ohio AgNet.